Well, that doesn't look right. Hey, there we go. There's the Wii we're looking for. Now to finesse my Wii remote into being where it's supposed to be. Got it. Yeah. Complete Zelda Wii remote, actually. Japan exclusive gold Joy-Con in every stuff. Alright, so if I remember correctly, I corrupted my save file. And I broke everything. So I need to start from the beginning. Why did I do what? Make sure my mic's working. Elgato's working. Hello, D-Hit-Kill, welcome. Oh, Raging Bolt, nice. Bro got that Wii drip. Heck yeah, I got that. Oh. I corrupt my save file so that I can have an easier time shiny hunting Jirachi. I'll show you why in a minute. Because it seems like you weren't here for the last one. Yeah, Bearman Pig. D-Hit Kill is my mod, one of the mods in the Discord server. Oh, I think you left before I figured out how to do it correctly anyways. So we're going to blow through this. This takes about 8 minutes to do per encounter. Save corrupting makes it so that it's 2 minutes per encounter, roughly. And a lot easier to manage. But occasionally I screw up and save my save file incorrectly. You did used to be a mod back when you were actually in the Discord server, back when my channel was more Zelda oriented. Oh yeah, D-Hit Kill. I went through an entire Generation 3 shiny hunting binge because I figured out how to RNG manipulate Pokemon Emerald, so I got literally every Pokemon you can, every legendary Pokemon you can get in Pokemon Emerald. I got them as shinies. Replaced my Crown Tundra shiny Reggie collection because for some reason they had an exclamation point as the name for the trainer instead of Brass Coin, which really irritated me. Or they had like the number 1 or something. I don't get how or why that happened, but it did. So yeah, I went on a whole quest, got all of them. Shiny Mew in Emerald for a Japanese copy of Emerald. I got Deoxys, Latios, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, Regirock, Registeel, and Regice. I still need to get Beldum because Stat Stevens Beldum can be shiny as well. But yeah, it was great. So now Jirachi is like the last legend, 3rd generation legendary I need. Then I can move on to Manaphy for Generation 4 and Poipole for Generation 7. All of them happen to have the same nature because I hit them on the exact same frame, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how to answer that question effectively, Bearman Pig, but I would say Mewtwo is most powerful in Generation 1 because it has less competition and the stats were combined up until Generation 3, I believe. Your special attack and special defense were crazy. Mewtwo's base stat total, I believe, has been the same throughout all games. So taking that into consideration, I would say Mewtwo was strongest in Gen 1 when it didn't have any opposition. It had no weaknesses because they forgot to program a weakness for Psychic type. I mean, Ghost was supposed to be the weakness, but the only Ghost that you get in Generation 1 is also a Poison type, which is really weak to Psychic type. And they forgot to make Psychic weak to Ghost. Like, the game tells you that it's weak to Ghost, but they forgot to code it. Yeah, the older generations have a lot of things broken. Yep, that's true, D-Hit Kill. And Bearman Pig, unfortunately, the only way to get rid of ads on Twitch is to Also, Goblin Dave, thanks for the follow. I saw you hanging out in the YouTube chat, I feel like. The only way to get rid of ads is to become a supporter, or, you know, I believe in Twitch they call it being a subscriber, a paid tier subscriber. If you have Amazon Prime, that's generally a free Prime sub that you can do, but it gets rid of the ads as well. But yeah, if I turn it off, I turn it off for everybody, and I'm not quite sure that that's what I want to do. And Poison does need a buff. It really does. It could be so much cooler. Hey, Smoker, welcome. We're a step closer to returning and resuming that Pokemon Coliseum run and that XD Gale of Darkness playthrough. I did manage to get a slew of shinies that I need to upload videos for tomorrow, so those will be forthcoming, hopefully. Outside of that, as soon as I catch this shiny Jirachi, which I've found a faster way to do, I'll be returning to Pokemon Coliseum. Hey, Bearman Pig is on YouTube now. Hey, Toxic, welcome. And I will also be playing Pokemon Coliseum in Japanese to get the Agato Celebi. So that's going to be fun. Oh, they do have a charm. I feel like the best buff they could give Poison is to not make it weak to ground. Like, it being weak to Psychic and ground are pretty detrimental, because it's not a high attack unit. I have not seen the new Final Fantasy VII. I don't play on PlayStation, so I haven't really been keeping my eyes out for it. I haven't given away Celebi recently. It's probably been a year since I gave away Celebi. Bearman Pig, I am highly anticipating getting Pokemon Red and Blue on the Nintendo Switch Game Boy edition. Ruby and Sapphire should be there at some point. But I suspect that we will see those come to the Switch as a Nintendo Online deal when they shut down Pokemon Bank for the Nintendo DS, or the 3DS rather. I think they're holding off to get everything lined up and in a row so that they can just transfer all of the old Pokemon games into a digital copy for Nintendo Network Online. Plus Expansion Pass, of course. I highly suspect that that's what they're going to do, because it would be nothing for them already to just port all of those titles over to the Nintendo Switch. Like, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't do that. We have emulators on the Nintendo Switch for modding purposes that you can have those games on. The Switch can clearly handle it. It's nothing for Nintendo to put them on the Nintendo eShop, and I would buy them again for like the 9th time. For the 3DS and the Wii U, they shut down their online platform, and they've shut down a lot of the games, but independent companies still may be running the servers for their respective games. Pokemon Bank is one of those situations where Nintendo is keeping it alive, because their Pokemon fans would be literally outraged if they shut that service down, because then there's no way to get Pokemon from Gen 3 all the way up to Gen 9. You got all you got is emulators on your phone for now. When you get that laptop, though, you're gonna have a party. But yeah, the Pokemon community is pretty convinced that in order to shut down the Pokemon Bank server and stop a lot of the hacking that they have going on, they will make the Pokemon games available on the Switch. Now, it doesn't stop everything, because if you have a modded Switch, you can still do it. But at the very least, they don't have to worry about you modding a DS, modding a Game Boy Advance cartridge, getting a flash card or an EverDrive. Like, there's so much stuff that you can do to mess with them. I hope we get a Generation 5 game this tomorrow, I suspect. Alright, so we are officially at the point where we can start shiny hunting. As soon as May shuts up, we will face down. We will save exactly one time. This creates a save state in block A. Okay? And then we'll get the bonus disc ready. Wait, what about what, Bearman Pig? If you're talking about the Pokemon game, I'm suspecting that we will have Generation 5 remakes announced for September/November for Pokemon Day tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be very, very tired tomorrow because I have an appointment to take my kiddo to, and I'm hoping to get a Pokemon Presents stream first thing in the morning. So it is highly anticipated that we are going to receive a Let's Go Johto and a Legends QREM game, which I would be stoked with both of those, although I would greatly appreciate a standard Generation 5 remake. Also, for D-Hit-Kill and Bearman Pig, what that Jirachi bonus disc did was put a Jirachi into my save file and then save it. So that saved to save block B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up in here, check the summary for Jirachi, see if it's shiny. It is not. So I'm going to soft reset. And then I am going to delete the save file. But as soon as I hit yes, I'm going to reset my GameCube, or in this case the Game Boy Advance. And what that does is it deletes save block B. So since save block B is now dead and gone, it's corrupt because the game knows that it should be loading from it but can't. So instead it loads from save block A. And I only have one Pokemon now. So what I do now is I save twice. This is going to reset the save frame for save B, because that's what I'm saving to. And then the second one is to advance the save file to re-roll for a shiny PID for Jirachi for save file A, which is what it's going to use to determine whether my Jirachi is going to be shiny or not. So I'm giving it a save file B again, and then saving over save file A to generate a new sequence of shiny frames for this Jirachi. I absolutely do not think a Legends Johto game has more sustenance than a Legends QREM game. And that's just my brutally honest opinion. Legends QREM has an entire war storyline it can go off of. To be fair, though, depending on the time frame, there is some things that a Legends Johto game could accomplish. One, Celebi time travels, so you could go to 2 different time periods. There is the storyline with the burned towers. We don't know exactly how long ago in the game of Gold and Silver that they burned down, but if I remember correctly, what I recall is 200 years prior to the events of the game. Could be longer, could be less. I don't know. But that is a story arc that we could talk about. It could be that the Gyarados just went on a rampage from the Lake of Rage and took out this tower, right? I want to see that in a Legends Johto game, personally. Another aspect that they could take on is, in the anime, it is highly suspected that Ash goes back in time with Celebi. I mean, we know Ash goes back in time with Celebi. That's not the debate. The debate is, he saves Samuel Oak, which is Professor Oak. And Samuel Oak sees Ash, learns his name and all that, and sees that he has a Pikachu, and that's why Oak has a Pikachu for Ash, is to complete the Bootstrap Paradox. And that's just a whole theory. Nothing about that's ever really proven, but it's pretty wild. But I think the Legends Kyurem has a bigger potential for a story arc similar to Legends Arceus, simply because there is the whole origin story for that epic dragon, right? Like, we could see for the first time ever the origin form original Unovan dragon in its complete and full splendor. And we could witness the two brothers fighting and forming 2 clans and factions and splitting the dragon apart, and our goal is trying to put it together. There's just a whole storyline with that we could go on. Yeah, basically toxic. That is the definition of a bootstrap paradox. And it's different than meddling in time travel of itself. A bootstrap paradox is something that cannot be possible without time travel. So it's when you go back in time and save yourself in order to be able to go back in time and save yourself. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but it's any time that you have to time travel in order to create the circumstances that lead you to time travel. Which doesn't make sense, because the logical thing is, if you didn't initially time travel to begin with, you wouldn't be able to go back in time to save yourself to even exist to that point. So it kind of, a bootstrap paradox in other terms is a situation that spawns itself somehow. The entire story of Paldea right now is basically a bootstrap paradox. Giving an example of that, the professor meddles with time travel and successfully creates it, pulls Pokemon, creates the entire events of Paldea that we go on. They die. We get to the end of that in the DLC, and we give the professor the book that teaches them how to do it. Well, they wouldn't have known how to do it if we never gave them that book, but we would never have been able to be in that position to give them that book if they didn't invent the time travel. it's stupid, and I hate bootstrap paradoxes because they make no logical sense. You can't exist to save yourself if existing required you to save yourself to begin with. So Ash saves Samuel Oak for Oak to be able to grow up and become a Pokemon professor, who then gives Ash his first Pokemon, which enables him to go back in time and save Professor Oak. It's literally the which came first, chicken or the egg, personified. They do break your mind real fast. Because, and that's one of the reasons why I love the way that Back to the Future deals with time travel. Back to the Future deals with it linearly, which is great, because that makes sense. Back to the Future, Marty goes back in time with Doc. Well, actually he goes back by himself. Neither here nor there. Back to the Future 1, Marty goes back in time. He interferes with his parents' relationship, which causes him to start fading from existence because he altered the timeline. His parents now did not get together to have him in the future. So he starts to disappear. But then he goes on a course correction to fix that, gets his parents together, and he starts to reappear. Now, it could be that his parents always had met that way, but I think the storyline's pretty clear that his dad's the one that got hit by that car, causing him to meet his mom for the first time. So there's definitely some things that get changed, but it's not like the butterfly effect level of change down the road. He gets his parents together, he returns to his own time, they're still together, you know, he still exists. That's great. Back to the Future 2, he goes into the future, realizes the crap that he's going to have to deal with. He goes back to the past and makes some life changes. Now, that future timeline no longer exists in essence because he is now going to be making life changes to not get in that situation. And then there's Back to the Future 3, where Doc Brown ends up going back in time with Miss Clarabelle, who supposedly died at some point during the events of history, and they changed that history, but it doesn't matter because, one, they're living kind of outside time at that point in their time-traveling locomotive or whatever, but they don't go on to change the events of history too much. They kind of seem to live in the future until such a time where, you know, they catch up, I guess. I don't know. But it's just not that big of a deal. No weird paradoxes are formed. He doesn't learn how to time travel because of the time travel. Sharklord says a different type of paradox is one where an object has no point of origin. Basically, you put an object in the past, which then ages to the future, where you find it and put it in the past. Kind of. With the Paldea situation, which came first? The Attack on Titan timeline, that one's left field. But I don't like it. I don't think there's any time travel in it by any means, but I really do not like the Attack on Titan series. Don't get me wrong, I loved it immensely. Like, great show. Phenomenal show. I just hate how they ended it. I still have yet to see the last, 10 episodes, I think. But it just pisses me off that they spent that entire time and they do what they did with it. Eren Yeager causing the rumbling and getting himself killed when he could have just disbanded everything then and there and gotten rid of the curse really irks me. A phenomenal show is called Danmachi, or in English, Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? It's a isekai type show where they get transported into another world to an extent, and just leveling adventures. Has the typical really fast leveling main character that was started off being made fun of and all that. Very similar to Sword Art Online in some ways, and Log Horizon. But I just loved... I love the story. I love the characters. I think it's super funny, the humor that they have going on in that show. Toxic. I already spoiled it because back before the anime episodes were up, I went through a whole binge and read what the manga story had to say, and that's when I got pissed off. In a way, they do start in that world. So I've heard Danmachi get categorized as an isekai as well as an action adventure. And the reason why is supposedly being transported to another world isn't exactly the only requirement for that. It is a huge part of it, don't get me wrong, but it's not the end-all be-all. I think they categorize it as that because we don't quite get the full origin story for Bell. Like, he starts in that world, but he comes to a new town. From what I understand, his grandfather figure was Zeus himself, and we don't know his origin, like how he came to be guided by Zeus, at least as far as the anime is concerned. But yes, you are absolutely right. They do start in that world, but I've seen Danmachi categorized as an isekai a bunch. But it would be more accurate to say that it is a adventure story more than anything. I think the reason why it gets isekai primarily is because of the relationship building and the focusing on different character lines aside from the main character. You do know his origin from the games? I haven't played the games, so you got me there. Ooh, hopefully I didn't wait too long on that. But I am so glad somebody else has seen that, or is at least aware of it, because this is like the first time I've ever gotten somebody to be vaguely aware of it. Oh, I need a help for a second. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. He's the reincarnation of the original hero. Who are his parents, though? My thoughts on Ogre Pawn? I love Ogre Pawn. I think it's adorable. I have no idea what that means. Safe you self. Major character is transported to a world dramatically different from their own through means that are in some way abnormal in the setting. Yeah. To be honest, I don't dislike the concept of isekai as much nowadays. R0 and Konosuba did it good. I just barely finished watching season 1 of Konosuba, ironically enough. I kind of went on a whole kick about it. But like every ranking system I've seen has listed Danmachi as an isekai. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't seem to have all of the elements for it. but Otherworld being a huge part of Isekai kind of should disqualify it. We know who his aunt is, one of the strongest characters in the series. She was level 7 and twin sister of Belle's mother, who was a part of Zeus' Familia. Oh yeah, that because they got destroyed, which explains why his parents aren't around, honestly. It seems interesting to stay here for a while. Well, we'll welcome you. Welcome. I kind of figured with the Russian lettering, but I definitely cannot read that, so... D-hit kill. Transporting to another world is like the main criteria for isekai, because that's what the name actually means, is other world. It can be a number of different methods depending on like how strict you want to be with the classification. Like, it does say, technically, through some supernatural means, but, like, it could also be argued that if they died, like, for example, is it wrong to, or try, let's see, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, they died and get reincarnated in this other world with their memories intact, so that qualifies. Sword Art Online is one that is kind of on the edge because they are transported to another world and like their entire consciousness goes there, but it is more of a science fiction aspect of it, to where science is what's driving that, not the paranormal or supernatural or magic. It's literally science doing it, but by some regards, they are in a different world that they can't get out from. A lot of isekais have leveling involved, they have random skills involved, and it's kind of like a D&D campaign animated in that regards. So that's why a lot of things that aren't isekai by one category seem to be lumped together with it, which is probably why Danmachi is lumped with it by a good part of the fan base. Is it's got like every element but the most important one. Hey, thanks for the luck with my classes. They do be struggle bussing. Truck-kun is the goat. Truck-kun's kill count is insane. But Konosuba is definitely an isekai. Smoker, I'm glad you were here for this. Like, I love being able to talk about Danmachi. I thought, like, the premise is so cool to me. I love anything to do with, like, Roman and Greek ideas in the Pantheon and all that. And, like, I just think that Danmachi has been expressing this Familia myth story so well with that stuff. That would most definitely qualify D-hit kill. That is a divine intervention that is causing that. We're all nerds here, I think. If not nerds, then weebs. If not weebs, then I forget the anime-specific term for that. I love what they did to Apollo in Danmachi. I think that was super funny. Just turns him into like a super weak person that's really stupid. There's a term. I mean, weeb is people that like Japanese culture as a broad, overarching everything Japan. There is a special term for people who are like anime obsessed, but I can't remember what it is right now. What are you needing help with, Bearman Pig? I was looking up these terms the other day. Otaku, that's what it was. Thank you, D-Hit Kill. Without throwing shade, because that's not my intent, I figured you would know just because you are in so many more communities than I am. I have no idea, Bearman Pig. I have never done emulators on my phone. My suggestion would be to follow a guide on the interwebs. Problem with phones are they update so frequently, which changes their entire programming for that emulator to work. So if you have an emulator that doesn't stay up to date every phone update, you're kind of going to be SOL. Yeah, I'm not an otaku either. Definitely a weeb though. Like, I would love to go and visit Japan and just chill there for a month. Soak in everything. Unfortunately though, I don't think I'll ever be able to eat sushi and like half of the things they eat over there just because my stomach will not allow me to. I will throw up. Seaweed is disgusting. But I could get behind trying some octopus, I think. I've tried squid. Not a fan. But it's okay. Like, once you get past the fact that it is squid, it really does taste like chicken. And I know a lot of things taste like chicken, but it's very comparable to a chicken nugget if you deep fat fry it. Have a good night, Bearman Pig. Been studying yokai for character ideas, like Yokai Watch? Dude. What's his face? Founder Plot would be so proud of you. If you don't like squid, I won't like octopus. You know, I could still get behind trying it. The whole character of yokai, actually. Oh. I gotcha. Yokai as in spirits. Gotcha. What I really want is to get myself a hold of some takoyaki, if I remember that name right. Those fish pastries. I feel like I have the name right. I may have mispronounced it though. I know what I'm trying to say. Is it takoyaki? Did I save twice or just once? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I saved twice. Octopus is takoyakis? Takoyaki, yep. So that's the octopus balls. That's something I want to try. Red bean paste buns are amazing. You are right about that. Taiyaki. I was so close. Takoyaki and taiyaki. I had to look it up. I've had red bean buns a lot, and they are delicious. And that's what made me want to try the taiyaki. I agree. I agree, Dihiko. It would be nice to be able to immerse myself in that culture for a while. There's just so many aspects of it that I align with. I think the whole vibe is just very peaceful, tranquil. I mean, of course, once you get inside the city, definitely not. But I'm talking about like the rural Japan vibe. I love the architecture. I think that's aesthetically pleasing. You're allergic to most fish and shellfish? That's unfortunate. I don't dislike fish, I just haven't had a whole lot of good fish. I feel like I would be able to eat sushi really well if it wasn't wrapped in seaweed. Maybe I should try making myself some lettuce wrapped sushi. Oh, I just goofed, I think. Yep, I goofed. I did not save twice. Japanese shrines are pretty cool. Yeah, I just need to find myself some of that. The taste of seaweed makes me want to throw up. What now? I restart my save from the ground up and take 7 minutes to get back to a point where I can resume shiny hunting. I can't believe I only made it 10 encounters. I've been on too much of a tangent. Like, I easily should have gotten, like, 25 encounters. I would love to have some Naruto, like, level ramen. Maybe I could condition myself to enjoy seaweed. Oh, hey, Mr. Zartox. Yeah, there's... Oh, that one's not even plugged in. Or maybe I'm just cracking out. One of those looks funny. Huh. It looks crooked. Anyways. Yeah, there's actually 3 more up top that aren't visible right now. And 2 in front of me. There's like 18 switches in my house. Got 15 modded switches, 2 OLEDs, and then my wife's Animal Crossing edition. You know what I forgot you could do in this game until just recently? You can crawl in bed. Like, isn't that cool? I still have my headcanon that little boy that we just talked to is Max. At least I think that's his name. The physical special split or lack thereof. I thought Gen 3 was the first generation that it did split. Is it not? It's the Gen 4 that it splits? Yeah, it's split. Denny, that's a great idea. Tofu skin sushi that doesn't have seaweed? That sounds like it might solve all of my problems. I don't know, it looks like I have all 6 stats here. Is that not normal? In the special def and attack are different. So 7 a.m. my time. Oh, I gotcha. That makes more sense. Also, I have to blare this because it's an absolute bop. Pokemon Coliseum has such an amazing soundtrack. Okay, Mudkip doesn't appear to be high in attack or HP right now. Doesn't appear to be high in defense. Ooh, love it. We do need a Pokemon Coliseum remake. Like, if out of left field, they decided that they were going to remake Pokemon Coliseum for the Switch, like, I would be all over that. that's less awesome. No ICLA remakes allowed. Grizo Studios only. Have a great night, Shark Lord. The worst thing about the games being faithful to the original is that they totally weren't. Like, they basically just did that as an excuse to not have any of the other Pokemon that we could now go and explore the region with. I'm hopeful that Pokemon Presents has Gen 5 remakes. Like, out of Gen 5 and Gen 2, I think Gen 5 needs it. While Gen 2, like, I'd be happy with both, let's be honest. But Gen 5, I feel like we need a way to get Keldeo as a shiny, Victini again. Like, they just need to release some shiny Pokemon that have never been released for Gen 5. Yes. Gen 5 remakes. Here, have Gen 5. There's fairies now. There is no Sylveon. The thing with Gen 5, if they added, like, if they remade Gen 5, they would have to add fairies, right? Because when they remade Gen 1, they had dark Pokemon in it. When they remade Golden, well, when they remade Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, they had fairies in it. So I feel like there isn't a valid excuse for them to not have fairies in a Gen 5 remake, which also means that there's no excuse not to have Sylveon, because it is something that could accidentally occur anyways. I agree, Smoker. Yes. Improve upon Legends Arceus. Make the graphics better. That water was pretty terrible. Oh yeah, Gen 2 also added Steel. That is correct. Really what they need to do is just a more powerful Switch so that we can get better quality games. Palworld already ahead. Oh my gosh, Palworld looks so great. Yeah, D-hit kill is definitely tired of that one. It do be looking great, but it is also running on consoles that are worlds ahead of the Nintendo Switch as far as capabilities go. I do think the Nintendo Switch is easily maxed out. Like, I don't think at this juncture it's a problem necessarily with Pokemon games. It's a problem with the Nintendo Switch hardware. Like, if Nintendo would actually give us some hardware that's decent, we would be in a lot better shape for better games. Granted, Scarlet and Violet was just way too buggy for release when it first came out anyways. That being said, though, every game has its bugs. Like, I'm over here programming really simple applications in Java, and I still manage to get a few bugs every now and then. It did, Diakill. It so did. Legends Arceus water looks terrible. That's what we hope, Denny. Although, quite honestly, I do hope for one more good year of the Switch, because all these Switches are going to become obsolete and useless when the Switch 2 comes out. And while Nintendo consoles have historically had a way to be hacked, manipulated, or other, historically, I don't anticipate the Switch 2 being easily hacked via software. And that's what worries me, is we saw with the people that were selling the mod chips got the crap suit out of them by Nintendo. The only way to safely mod a Nintendo product at this point is to do so with software, because they can't fight that, because nobody's making money off of the software. You can put the software up for free on GitHub and just have it be a project for everybody to give Nintendo the middle finger or what have you. But since these people were selling these mod chips, they were making money off of it. I think going forward, Nintendo will not have a way to break into the system through software again. I think going forward, it will be only hardware that allows that. And that worries me, because I think my channel will likely die when the Switch 2 becomes king. Like, without the bots running for the Switch, I don't think my channel will survive, because I don't pull that much views for streams. I don't pull that much views for Pokemon general content, although I haven't done general content in quite a while. Shiny hunting, absolutely, I do that. But then again, if I'm not worried about making sure my bots are running, I may actually have time to do other content. I need to see if I saved twice real fast. My cat jumped up and started clawing my leg. Oh, come on. Unfortunately, this is going to be faster than doing a reset. There is always a way. Yeah, I believe it. But they did fix it with the Switch version 2 and the OLED. So far, nobody's hacked the OLED through software. But there may be some sort of an oversight on the early consoles that they overlook. Okay, there is save 1. And there is save 2, we're good. I hope it works out too. Like, I'm not ready to hang up my hat yet, but there is a very good chance that I will have to if the bots aren't a thing. And I recognize that my channel is highly dependent upon the bots. Oh, yeah, randomized battles and abilities, absolutely. But I may find a way to survive. Like, the good news is, if I'm unable to do giveaways, it's very likely that everybody else won't be able to do giveaways either. So, I mean, I think maybe that era of Pokemon giveaways will just end, and that'll be okay. Or I just do giveaways manually. I just wish I knew how to get people more interested in my Let's Plays when I do them, as opposed to the giveaways themselves. It's just not one of my strong suits. Oh, dude, manual giveaways are the literal worst. They are so hard to do. Back before the bots were working for Scarlet and Violet, I was doing some manual giveaways. And people go nuts in those. Like, trying to find an organized line was crazy, but people did tip through YouTube super chats pretty nicely for that. So, I mean, it was worth it. Like, it definitely isn't all about the money, but it also, in the future, is probably going to dwindle down and get limited, with my kid getting old enough to interact with and play with, and then there's going to be 2 here shortly. I'm going to have to really sit down and focus on what I want my channel to be and what I want to do, and it's very likely that, yeah, I'm going to be playing some Pokemon games, and that's going to be my game time for the week, and I just happen to be streaming it. Like, that's probably what's going to go on, and I'll start doing a lot of Let's Plays. And, you know, if giveaways are possible, they'll still be a thing, because I don't see any reason why that should end if the capabilities are there, but the more I think on it, the harder I am having a hard time justifying buying the next generation of consoles to do the giveaways. But, I mean, if the funds are there, I'm going to do my best to do it if it's a possibility. But yeah, my kid is going to be needing a lot more of my time and attention, so I'll be lucky to get like maybe 4 hours total a week to sit down and game, which is fine. I can do a lot with 4 hours, especially with a Let's Play. I feel like Pokemon Let's Plays could go really good for that. That would be epic, D-Hit-Kill. That would be a lot of fun. I don't think I checked that Jirachi, so I'm going to check it just in case. I feel like I did. I did not check that Jirachi. Just wait. That's pretty much it. Wait and see. That's where I'm at these days. Wait and see. I can't believe I've almost been streaming for 2 hours and I only have 14 encounters to show for it. A little bit ridiculous. Then again, maybe I'm just forgetting to hit the increment button. Really what it's going to come down to is getting a house in the future. If I can get a house that has, you know, like 3 to 4 bedrooms, my ability to stream is going to go way up. And as long as I can keep it going for the next 4 years, my kid will be in school, and I'll have a little bit more time that I can probably devote to it. But yeah, they're going to need time and attention for sure. But an actual office to do YouTube streaming in would be ideal. Right now I'm doing it in my dining room, so I have to do it when my kid is asleep and when the wife is in bed, so that, you know, there's not a bunch of background noise and all that. It's just not the easiest and most conducive to just sit down and stream whenever I want. Whereas in the future, it probably will be. Ultimate, welcome back. Yeah, from what we've had interactions with, there's a good chance that kid is going to be a good-looking kid. Like, we can't take that kid anywhere without him getting some sort of a compliment. It's wild. We really should have thought about hooking that kid up with some baby modeling or something, maybe. I don't know. But, like, we can't take that kid anywhere without somebody coming up and saying how cute he is. And that's a humble brag, I guess. It does get a little bit annoying, though, as far as every time we go to a restaurant, sit-down restaurant, at least 2 or 3 people come up and tell us how cute and well-behaved he is. It's pretty awesome, but it does get old a little bit. as soon as it comes out, I believe we're waiting on season 5 to be announced. I tried to do some reading on it like 3 or 4 days ago when I finished season 4. It's an LN anime? What is LN anime? I am unfamiliar with that term. I'm sad that we don't have any news. Like, from what I understand, back in like November, they announced that it was slated for a season 5 return, but we still don't have any dates as to when it is going to be out. Maybe it was July. I don't... July or November, one of those two. From what I understand from the community, though, is it's like the author has said that Ice is the end relationship, the end game, but like based on what the fan base has had to freak out about, like there's a pretty good chance it's going to go with the harem ending. Oh, yeah. Light novel. That makes sense. Light novel and manga. That... yeah, I don't know why I didn't process light novel. Probably because I was thinking about anime and not the books. But they have flushed out so many good character relations that it's wild. And maybe we're waiting on a great Ice character development arc. But the Ryu arc was amazing. I was so involved with that one. And the last 3 episodes of that took a really weird turn that... not weird, but like a turn that I didn't expect to have happen, which was interesting. Where they're trying to stay warm. I did not see that coming. It has to be Ryu. See, that's what the fan base is arguing about right now. Like, from this point currently, it makes the most sense to go with Ryu. Like, I'll agree with that. Like, season 4 was very stressful, very high tension, very developmental. Like, there is a lot of bonding that happened over keeping each other alive that way. In a sense, it's kind of like PETA and Katniss in Hunger Games in that way. They grow together because they almost died together several times. Exactly, Smoker. Exactly. And so the fan base is really like on board with Ryu. But the author has stated that his plans are for Ice to be the end game. And he's going to have a full-on riot on his hands just because Ice isn't that strong of a character, you know? Like, yeah, she's really strong and cool, but like there's been no development there, which there has room for some development. Outside of her unnatural hatred for monsters that probably gets to get expanded upon, but who knows? Maybe there's going to be a really cool story arc where they have an adventure together that gets developed. But I agree. Ryu was an awesome one. The only time I've been this invested in an anime that develops and works on relationships is Nisekoi. And I am still mega salty that that one has not been continued. that one I know from the manga. He does end up with Chitoge, but I am so upset that we don't get to see that in anime form. Yeah, False Love. False Love is the one that got me into the, like, that style of show. They stopped as season 3 supposed to start, I think. I know there's season 1 and 2. I don't think season 3 is a thing. But people have been, like, avidly awaiting for it for so long. But it's been years. Like, 7 years. And they typically don't pick it up after that. Like, typically if an anime goes 5 years without getting not a rerun, but a renewal, it's not getting renewed. Darling in the Franxx, never seen it. Oh shoot, I think I just botched my saves again. Dragon Ball dumping more content than we needed. I think part of the reason why is we have more anime coming out than ever before at a much faster pace than ever before. So TV space is limited is part of the problem. Tsugumi was a great character. Literally the only person that I did not support him getting with was Onodera and Mari? I forget her name, but the French girl. Everyone else was okay. Maybe it's Okadera. No, that's from Your Name. Oned. The main girl he starts out having a crush on. That's the only one that I would be upset if he ended up with. Just because, like, too much happens with everybody else. But it's very clear from, like, the middle of season, or the beginning of season 2, that Chitoge is the one that he made the promise to. I don't think the Big Three has officially had a change up. I could be wrong on that though. Also, it depends on what we mean by Big Three. Oh, yeah, Smoker. If I imagine how this is going to go down, there is not a single one of them that has a key that works for his locket, except for maybe Chitoge, and I think that's because she has the master key, maybe. I think everybody else that has a key to that has a part of the key. So, like, all of them need to be combined to open up the locket, maybe? That's kind of what I started thinking of. Also, I got distracted again and can't remember if I saved twice. I am terrible at this. Was it? Oh shoot, you're right. It confirms that Chitoge was originally given the key that would unlock Raku's locket, but gave it to Kosaki instead. Dang. Still ends up with Chitoge, which is I fully support. Okay, there's at least one. Okay, I did save twice. We're good. I hate it when that happens, D-hit kill. I hate that. My phone will randomly do YouTube shorts for no reason. Like, I wasn't watching a short when I closed out the app. Like, it'll just launch a short and yell at you. And it freaks me out. I'm living for getting corrected on these anime shows, though. There's only so much reading that I've done on them for those that haven't finished. And I'm here for it because that makes so much more sense. That Onodera was the one that had the key. But out of everybody, Chitoge made the most sense just because there was much more natural chemistry there despite the bickering. And maybe there was chemistry because of the bickering, I don't know. But epilogue is crazy though. Wait, she has a kid with Raku, or she just has a kid? Are they getting scandalous up in there? I agree. Like, False Love definitely had the makings of a harem anime anyways. Like, it very easily could have tipped in that way. Just has a kid. That's good. It just... I think the reason why it bothers me so much with that show not getting finished is I got really invested in the characters and their relationships and whatnot, and it was just painful how back and forth Chitoge and Raku were about their feelings, I guess. Like, one would start to acknowledge that they had feelings and then start to confess them or whatever, but get kind of shut down and then stop, and then like a few episodes later the other person would try and they'd get shut down, and it would just be back and forth, whereas it was never really denied on either party's part with Raku and Onodera. I agree, D-Hit Kill. Like, Nisekoi definitely started to feel that way just because there were so many different characters being introduced so quickly for a time. But, like, it was definitely something that you knew that there was going to be a choice in the end. And I think part of the problem with some of these anime is that the author starts off, or manga rather, starts off with an idea of where they want it to go, but then the fan base just like tries to have their way with it, and in order to appease a little bit of everybody, I think that's how those kind of get started. Is the author no longer feels the same conviction in having their clear choice be the choice, because then somebody that liked this other character will be upset. It is indeed dying off right now. It was a premonition, D-Hit Kill. Wait, even the teacher had a locket? What? Crazy. Well, feel free to have a premonition about my channel exploding and getting to 100K, because that would be legit. I only need to do what I've done 5 more times, and I'll be at 100,000. Which is kind of cool to think about, honestly. Like, if I can do this 5 more times, I'll have my goal. Like, I want that community, but I also really want the plaque. I'm going to be honest. I want the plaque as a life goal to say, hey, I got the YouTube plaque at some point. Like, I just think that would be so cool. Raku just be giving out lockets and keys left and right. Oh, I didn't want to do that. It's toast making time. Will you enjoy your toast? Slap some amazing butter on it. and pretend you are Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. That reference probably makes 0 sense, but that's okay. I have not seen that show. I don't even know what Overlord is. Toast is better with peanut butter. I do agree. Okay, I'll add it to my list. I really hope Don Machi has what it takes to be finished. Like, that's the most annoying part about these relationship anime stuff that I get, like, drawn into, is I've yet to see one get finished. Like, Strike the Blood was another one I got into, and I always forget how it's spelt, but it's either Sekire or Seriki. Gosh dang it. I've missed it again. I have a feeling I only saved once, though. Yes, it is. And I'm super excited about that because it has made it to season 4. So usually they finish if they make it above season 2. Okay, there's save 1. Wait. Oh, come on. I missed it. I mean, I have a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Advance SP right here. Got a DS Lite right here. Okay, there's one save. YOLO. I'd be doing a lot better at this if I quit forgetting what I was saving. And actually, Adrian, I'm not doing this on a Game Boy Advance at all. So what I have is I have my GameCube right here, and that's running the Game Boy Advance player disc and the attachment at the bottom of the GameCube. So my copy of Pokemon Sapphire is in my GameCube right now, and I have my GameCube hooked up to my Nintendo Wii. so that I could stream it, since the Game Boy Advance doesn't have streaming capabilities. Or capture card capabilities, rather. I also have one of the really old cancer-causing Game Boys, like the original Game Boy, and a Game Boy Color in a case over there. Alright, moment of truth time. Let's see if I saved the correct number of times. Really need a charger. Log back in. Ooh. Yes, I saved the correct number of times. 1. I think my problem today is I've just gotten off on too many anime tangents and forgot what I was doing in the game. I do not know enough about strategizing to have a discussion about that D-hit kill. I don't know what Serene Grace does, and I don't know how that works with Ironhead. I'm gonna be honest. Given that I only have like 2.5 chatters right now, apparently I'm like a good YouTuber to fall asleep to. Or something, because like I usually have 2 to 3 chatters, and there's never less than 7 people in the chat, or in viewing. Oh, that's pretty great. And it makes sense too, since Jirachi is a steel type. I think it's still psychic, if I remember right. And it would not, probably doesn't learn bite. Have a severe case of lurkers. I'm okay with that. Because my viewers are EST? Probably. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of my viewers do be EST though. D-hit kill just doesn't go to sleep. Smoker, there's actually a key distinction between what D-hit kill said in my time zone. D-hit kills over Portugal, Spain area. So it's GMT, I'm MST. It's like 7 in the morning their time now. Or 8, one of the two. It was like 6 when we started, I think. Now, question for you, D-Hitkill. What does GMT stand for? Because mine's Mountain Standard Time. Or Mountain Daylight Time, depending on the time of the year. Oh, toast, I see. Oh, maybe I don't need to reset the game like 6 times. You don't remember now? Go. Once it boots up. Oh yeah, you still have that archaic machine, don't you? Ironically, today, I came across a smaller YouTuber that I asked them to send me a DM. I got a capture card I want to send them if they got a laptop they can use, but they never sent me a DM, so that was kind of sad. Hey, I mean, something's better than nothing in my opinion. Always, always got to get started somewhere. Especially if it's just enough to get you a bank account and a better computer so that you can like do commissions for people and stuff. Like that would be, I think, up your alley, man. Based on what we have seen thus far, if they all started to gun... Crap, I just got myself demonetized. If they all started to really go after Belle, I would say the two that have the most chance are Ryu and Mikoto. If Mikoto is the ninja one. Like, I don't remember their names the best. I'm gonna be honest. Unfortunately, like I binge watched it in like 2 weeks flat or less. I feel like I know the names well enough to have a vague idea. I should know them better. Like I'm a terrible fan, I guess, but Haruhime stands a good chance. But I think Mikoto and Ryu are the most logical sense at the moment. I don't get the appeal of Eyes. It seems like she's more cold and calculating, which I don't get. I really do feel like it would be better for Ryu at this moment. But Ryu also seems quite a bit older as well, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. So Mikoto would probably be my choice. But Ryu is the most developed relationship so far. So if they all started going after him, Ryu would probably be the one I would root for. Just because she looks significantly younger during the last episode while she's, you know, in her girly dress or whatever you want to call it. But Seer is kind of just lost and forgotten. I don't remember the Proom's name right off because they always call her by a nickname. Oh, really? Which makes sense because Ice doesn't really get any character development right now. And Pipsqueak. Yeah, that's what it is. I think him saving the Xenos and her having a solid resolute I will not allow any monster to survive is kind of like killing the chances of him getting with her, just because fundamentally they won't agree on a sense of sentient life, you know. So that's kind of a huge drawback for the relationship. Another reason why I could see that ability slowing down is because he's getting pretty high up there in levels, as well as his feelings are less strong for one person and more evenly spread across the board. So I think part of the reason why it's slowing down isn't just because he's losing interest in Ice, but interest is peaking in other areas, especially towards Ryu. Because if I understand the ability correctly, it doesn't matter who he has really strong feelings for, just the stronger his feelings for a single individual are, the more powerful he becomes, or the quicker he develops. I could be wrong on that, but that was my understanding of the ability. Is it doesn't matter who he's feeling for, as long as the feelings are strong. But since he's getting more distracted in more developed relationships with everybody, he feels less strongly for one person at that time. Yeah. He does have to become the last hero and face that in the end. That is for sure. No idea. I know that the light novel series or the manga is up to like 18 volumes right now, and I don't know if that has ended the series, but I do know that there's enough source material for 2 more seasons, from what I understand. Well, 2 seasons, or 1 season like season 4, if that makes sense. Season 4 had like 26 episodes in it or something. The other seasons have like 10 to 12 episodes. There's enough for about 24 episodes, from what I understand. So 1 season that's like part 1, part 2, like season 4 is, or a season like season 2. 2 of those. And that's just with what's written right now. I don't know, as far as the manga is concerned, where the stories ended up. Yeah, you're right. It is primarily Ice. But if I understand his skill correctly, it doesn't matter who is fueling that, as long as somebody is. And it has to be like a one-track mind type thing. And Bell does have a one-track mind for the most part. But I can understand how Ryu could have messed with that quite significantly, just because of what transpires down in the dungeon. Like, I could see him getting confused over that. And faltering in his conviction. Casually hearing and reading the conversation fills you with determination. Yeah, absolutely. And that's because Hestia hasn't really said exactly, you know, details about the skill. There's only a vague understanding from like a few lines she says. I feel like somehow I messed that up. Maybe I didn't. Either way, as long as I save twice, the reset's still good. Okay, this is going to be my last reset for the night, because I gotta go to bed, so that I can have a shot at waking up at 6 in the morning and getting ready for a stream tomorrow. Oh, D-hit kill. I would love that immensely. Since I've technically been shiny hunting this off and on for 2 years. Well, 18 months at least. I feel like I started this in July of 2022. Oh yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I used to be able to get 16 encounters per stream, and that took 2 hours at 8 minutes an encounter. So, like, if it's going much faster now, and that's why it took so long. Like, it took me probably 10 streams to get to 80 encounters. And then 2 streams to get to 231. But alas, that was an unsuccessful shiny hunting stream, but a successful stream. So thank you guys for hanging out. Smoker, D-Hit Kill, definitely great to chat anime with y'all. Santo, hopefully we'll catch you in another stream. Sorry I gotta sign off right as you get on, but we'll catch you guys later.